Coming soon on the Breaks Music Show, we have an interview with Danny R. and Paul Gillings, singer-songwriters from Great Britain who bring a handcrafted blues rock experience to fans everywhere. Their interview with Ed Steele is coming up right after this.
Hi there, I want to let you know about an exciting podcast called The Breaks Music Show. So what is The Breaks Music Show? The Breaks Music Show is America's most informative new radio show highlighting the world's best unsigned artists. Be sure to find us on your favourite podcast platform as well as YouTube, Rumble, Twitter and more. Remember, every Friday is when you can hear interviews and music from 3 of the best unsigned artists in the world. The Breaks Music Show is a Grebo Inc. production.
Welcome to the Breaks Music Show. I'm your host, Ed Steele, and today we're being joined by Danny R. and Paul Gillings. They're all the way across the pond. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you, fella. Nice to see you. Nice to be here.
Pleased to meet you, Ed.
All right. So you guys are over there in across the pond, and what is Danny R. and Paul Gillings? What are you guys all about, and what is a typical live show? What can we expect when we come visit you guys?
Well, a typical live, we're an acoustic duo, singer-songwriter vein, and sort of airing on the blues rock sort of way. But yeah, sort of done acoustically. I play harmonica, and Danny plays guitar and sings. I do backing vocals. They're all original numbers. And what you see in a live show is
very stripped back performance.
Yeah, with the intensity and the emotions of the song coming at you as well. You know, yeah. So that's the basics of it, really.
Kind of skip the effects pedals and just plug straight in.
Yeah.
Danny R. and Paul Gillings. All right, my other question. All right, are you guys brothers? Did you meet at a pub? Are you schoolmates or what?
No. So we're friends. I can say we're just friends, but there's no just about that. But we're both musicians on the local music scene, and I was. We were both billed on a local sort of. There was a local. They put about 5 or 6 bands on. We call it an A&R night, but there was no A&R present, but that's what they call it. But it's a local sort of showcase night. And
for original music.
Yeah, for original music at a local club. And Danny was on first, doing his singer-songwriter stuff.
Opened up the set, yeah.
Yeah, and I was on with the band later on, playing harmonica. And I was sort of hanging around near the bar as I do, and his voice came over the PA. This who are we? I can't even do it, but Danny was by himself, and he just had the audience in the palm of his hand. His voice was absolutely beautiful. It was capturing me. So I went up to him afterwards and tried to fan him and say, "Hey man, I want to buy your music. Where have you got a CD?" And he was like, "I haven't got one.
I ain't got any, man.
I haven't got any." So I was. I'd just got and recorded my own sort of acoustic blues album with acoustic guitar and harmonica played myself, and I had a little home studio. So I took his number and said, "Look, he took my number and said, I said to him, if you get any CDs, get any music to sell, ring me, I'll buy it. You know, next time you've got a show, man, tell me I want to come along." So then I sort of thought about it and ruminated on it the next couple of days, and I thought, he hasn't, got any music. I want to record him. So I'll offer to record him for that. So he came along and recorded an EP, which is out on Spotify, You, Me and Echo. Yep. We recorded that in my home studio. Mm-hmm. And we carried on hanging out, and eventually he said, "Well, you fancy a little jam then?" There was no thought for me to join in on his music. That was his music. I just wanted him to do his thing and to help him.
Came down with your bass, didn't you, man?
Yeah, to have a jam session. He said, "Yeah, do you want to come and have a jam?"
Bass for a bit, and I was like, "Yeah, do whatever you want, mate. Come down, man. Honestly, it's cool."
So then eventually it was like, "Oh, I'm fed up with bass. I might try harmonica," and that was sort of September last year.
Yeah.
So from September last year we stopped sort of. Just being mates and helping each other record and just been playing music together. So I've been bringing my songs to the table, been playing harp on Danny's songs and just fusing it all together, really, and creating the songs, taking them further together.
Following our feet, mate, yeah, just as it comes. Loving it.
Danny R. and Paul Gillings on the Breaks Music Show. Here's their song, Stargate.
Sitting alone, staring out across the vine. Is this good for me? Or am I wasting time? So I sit back with my cognac, stare right across the fields in front of me. I'm looking through the Stargate, and I'm touched by what I say. And is it really me? Is it really me? Well, there's a Stargate down in the caves I've been buried way back when, and ain't nobody doing our wrong while we're doing our thing and we're playing our song. I rock back and forth, and no, I might look a little strange, but to me it's all the same. Oh no, here we go, confidence in check, so let it roll. And I'm still me, I'm still me, I'm still me, I'm not mad anymore. Still me, I'm still me, but I'm better now, better now, better than before. So much better than before, yeah. Well, I was afraid of change, and I gave all my warnings to shade. West they said I gotta do a favor for you, my friend. The universe, she asked your call, yeah. I'm still me, I'm still me, I'm still me, I'm not mad anymore. I'm still me, I'm still me, but I'm better now, better now, better than before. Stargate has played its trick on me. Its trick once, it's now my reality, yeah. It's now my reality, and it's still me. It's still my reality.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Today we're speaking with Danny R. and Paul Gillings, and we've got a couple more songs to get to, but we're gonna dive into their minds a little bit more before we go on any further here. All right, we saw on your website that you're starting to book live shows again. Now, you got to be excited about, playing live again. And how hard was it to play for the virtual shows?
Do you know what? It really was a completely different experience for me. I'd never done a
Well,
live
not for me.
stream.
I'm used to people not
You're
applauding,
right.
so I didn't care. I used to playing to, no one's listening, no one's applauding. Yeah, so I was fine with that. But, sorry, I interrupted. Go
It's
on.
all right, mate. But yeah, it's very surreal, very strange, very weird. And but eventually you do kind of get used to it, and you just think, well, do you know what? I just kind of treat it as if you were sitting in your room having a practice session, and kind of forget that people are watching you. And then at the end of it, just chuck out, I hope you like that. And then, wait, just carry on. But
It was getting the technology right there's been a slight adjustment, hasn't it? Getting a good sound, and then getting that synced as well. We've done a few live streams where we look at them afterwards, so they've put them out on YouTube, and you're singing, you're playing isn't synced with the video too well, or so hence we've upped our sort of game as far as mics goes, getting it to go through a DAW, so you get a bit more tech savvy than you would have to normally. You have to up your game on that. We've made a few purchases with equipment and stuff like that. There's laptop and stuff. So yeah, I think an HD camera might be next as well.
I'm a techno dinosaur, mate. So this has really pulled me into.
We've had some hairy moments, haven't we? Where it's like you're 2 seconds away, you can't find the live stream feed they want you to get on. Oh my God, are we live? And then lighting and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been a great educational upswing, hasn't it? Really
It's a new experience, learning curve. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's Danny R. and Paul Gillings on the Breaks Music Show. Is there one particular venue that you guys really want to play at?
Again? We love some festivals. I played Glastonbury as a young man, a very, very young man. No, obviously, I'm very young now, but obviously, as a young man, I wouldn't mind taking Danny there and doing a Glastonbury set. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
they're very, very appreciative crowd down at Glastonbury Festival. Yeah. But as far as venues go, I'd love to play the Marquee or the 100 Club in London.
100 Clubs on the list, definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Got to hear that. The John Peel Centre we've just been booked for, mate, which is a new one for us. But I mean, John Peel, Radio 1 DJ, is a legend. So to be able to play at his Arts and Crafts Centre for us is going to be a real honour and a privilege to be there. So yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Danny R. and Paul Gillings. Here's their song, King's Ransom.
Bounties out a hashtag scout at the King's Ransom. How rewards lay in store those that can land them. Whichever it may be, found that chance I'm free. It's fine with me. It's fine with me, yeah. And I say, you're my gold rush fever, make a true believer out of me. Recording king, go on and give me that ransom. Recording king, won't that be handsome? Yes it would, yes it would. Employed all the nervous vibes that got me straight. It feels so good to be one of those who play. Whichever it may be, found that chance I'm free. It's fine with me. It's fine with me, yeah. And I say, cold rush fever, make a true believer out of me. Recording king, go on and give me the ransom. Recording king, know that'll be handsome. Recording king, go on and give me that ransom. Recording king, Lord, that'll be handsome. Yes it would, and I'll say, you're my gold rush fever, to make a true believer out of me.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Danny R. and Paul Gillings. Great interview and more coming up from them here in just a couple of moments.
Hey everyone, Nikki Young here, host of the international true crime podcast, Serial Napper. Let me guide you through some of the craziest true crime stories you've never heard of. Add in a dash of creepy, spooky, and weird, and you've got Serial Napper. I cover a new case each week, some of them unsolved, so I also host a monthly chat where we go through the evidence, the suspects, and theories. You don't want to miss this. Serial Napper is available on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Danny R. and Paul Gillings joining us in studio today. Gentlemen, great interviews so far. We got another song we're going to do. But before we do that, let me ask you this. You have a new EP coming out. Can you tell us more about that? And is there one particular song on the EP that stands out to you?
Asking a dad if he has a favourite child, and the answer is, yes, I do. It's the girl one, usually. The boy one's a pain. No, he's not. He's fine. So the EP was, we never really intended to get anything recorded. We were just kind of having fun and thought, there'd be an album in the offing at some point. But we got into a habit at rehearsals of putting two mics up, and sticking on the DAW and just recording what we did. And then we got in a habit of recording ourselves visually as well. So we got in a habit of putting the camera up so that we could see what we look like when we perform and stuff like that, and just trying to hone our talent. So we recorded about 2 or 3 rehearsals, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 or 3. And the one that we took the recordings off was an early one when we got. I think it was in the studio at 10 in the morning.
Yeah, well, I was on late shift. I work in a factory, and Danny's a self-employed plumber and construction worker. So
bed at 3 a.m.
Yeah, so like
in the studio at 10.
Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning. We were in there, like, what is going on? I've got a shift. He's got a toilet to replace or whatever it is in some old lady's house. Mm-hmm. And what we're doing is, so we literally just blasted through the songs, and we had to listen back, and we're like, 3 or 4 of those are really nice, actually. Shall we do an EP? It's like, well, yeah, why not?
So that's it. Yeah.
So we did. We mastered it up, and we did all that ourselves. So we thought we'd put it out there and see if we get any bites on the end of the old musical fishing rod. And thankfully we have. It's been received. So I mean, even if it hasn't been released as yet, we've had some great radio response. Yeah. And some good bookings already. Yeah. But it's out on 13th of June on all digital platforms. Yeah. And you can get the CD from our website as well, Danny R and Paul Gillings music.co.uk. That'll be available from there. So that was it from my perspective.
Loved it. Just it's as live and as raw as what you'd see when you come to see us
warts
play.
And all,
So.
Favourite song is definitely Alone for me.
Definitely, it's got to be Alone, and I think it's because it's it's reaching out and it's just an observation of what we think is going on around us and our ideals of how things can be changed, and just letting people know, even though you're stuck in lockdown and stuff and what's going on in the world, you're not alone. So we're all going through it, and we all have the same problems. So,
for me, it's that banging and opening guitar. And the harmonica. The harmonica is for me is immense.
Just
I know I played it,
man.
But that was it for me musically, for me lyrically, for Danny. But a whole package really.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Danny R and Paul Gillings. Here is their song "Alone."
So take a look around. Tell me what you see. You're telling me that everything you say is just how it's meant to be. So when you come across the things that you ain't sure about, don't disregard your natural instincts now. Take a second look and you might find something interesting that you did not know about. It's more than meets the eye. So much more than the clouds in the sky. The strange things that happen in these lives. The strange things that go bump in the night. So open up your mind and have a real look. Take a second glance at what you once missed. So many disregard what they can't see. Don't trust the news to tell you your identity. And I hope that one day we might find out what really went down. Wheels out discrepancy. Search parties went out, nobody's were found. So many disregard what they can't say. I guess it's our modern day society. But you're not alone in this world. You're not alone in this crazy world. 'Cause so many disregard what they can't see. Don't trust the news to tell you your identity. You're not alone in this world. You're not alone. This crazy world, you're not alone. This crazy world, you're not alone. This crazy world, you're not alone.
It's the Breaks Music Show with Ed Steele, Danny R, and Paul Gillings in studio today. But before we get out of here, we're going to ask them, where can they be found and how can we buy merchandise and
please
how can
visit
we get
our
in
website,
contact
which is
with
DannyRPaulGillingsmusic.co.uk. Our socials are, we're on Instagram, Danny R. Paul G Music, and Facebook is the same. If you search anywhere, really, Danny R. and Paul Gillings, you'll come across us, you know what I mean? But yeah, the main website, dannyr.paulgillingsmusic.co.uk is the main one. Yeah. And we have, on the 13th, we'll have CDs for sale on there. Cassettes are on thing as well, yeah, he's got yeah,
we did some cassettes as well,
so,
guys.
yeah, you know, just do a search for us. Danny R. Paul G Music is the main one on the Instagram and Facebook, though, yeah.
All right, guys. Sounds great. Danny R., Paul Gillings on the Breaks Music Show, and you know it, more coming up in mere moments. Calling all unsigned independent bands and musicians. The Breaks Music Show is looking for you to be on our show. The Breaks Music Show is a new podcast that features one artist each week in their own 20-minute interview segment with 3 of their songs played on air. Hosted by yours truly, Ed Steele. The Breaks Music Show is positioned to be the best podcast for unsigned artists worldwide. To be considered for the Breaks Music Show, go to breaksmusicshow.com. Click on the Give Me a Break tab and complete the application. Also, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform and subscribe to our social media channels and mailing list. The Breaks Music Show is a Grebo Inc. production.